What is up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video. Gonna do a little evening stream. Not, I want to make it. I always say I want to make it too long, and then it ends up being like at least a few hours. But yeah, we're gonna keep this under control a little bit. I just wanted to put out some quick points. Um, Shout out to all y'all to subscribe. This tuned in. Make sure you share the videos. I'm pretty much at like right under 3,000, so I really want to break that marker for the channel. So keep that in mind. A couple of quick things I wanted to say though, wanted to put out there. So we've had these recurring arguments in regarding to the manosphere. Talk about stuff like reparations, talk about stuff like the nature of rugged individualism, talking about, should you invest in the black community? Should you leave? What are you loyal to? How women operate, as far as people being strong and independent, all these arguments. And I'm going to go through a few of them. Real quick, because in my opinion, shout out to Vern, Pharaoh, Mr. Pump and Dump, Artifort, a lot of this stuff has been settled. One thing that I like, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. One thing about a lot of these controlled events or these events is they give you a good idea as far as if this happens, how would shit respond? What's up, Alan Wiley? My first name is actually Alan, Alen. But and this corona situation, this has come like a worldwide hurricane, global. This shit has completely kind of like settled a lot of things. And I'm a capitalist, but I got common sense when it comes to it. So here's the thing. Last year we had this argument about reparations. It was a big old thing about reparations and could the Democratic Party advocate for it and all this other bullshit. And you had all these people come up. You know who they are. It's not even me trying to jump on them, but you knew the arguments, the talking points. Talk about, oh, we can't get reparations. The government ain't got no money. This, that, whatever. Who gonna pay for it? All this other bullshit. So you looking at a $2 trillion package that's about to be spent. Only 250 billion of that is really going towards direct payments of people. So and then when you look at the fact that a lot of people pay less in taxes as far as normal people, because Trump removed the credits and pushed that up towards the wealthy, which we're not even going to talk about them getting bailed out corporate wise, which I get it. People have investments in these companies, blah, 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 blah. But my point is that all this money is getting funneled to the top and finding ways to take it out of your pocket. Because unless you're making like $150,000 a year and more, for the most part, you're not benefiting from what they're doing, and that's just real talk. Really, I really would say 250. Because in order to be in the 1% in America, you really have to be generating like $88,000 a month, not a year, a month. So basically, you got to be like a millionaire. And I'll say that, but the point is, when people talk about reparations couldn't happen and there was no money and all this other shit, if there was really no money, then, and I'm not, and obviously I understand about the economy being fragile, but my point is, if there was really no fucking money, remember what a lot of people talked about. A lot of people talked about this stimulus package to help elevate the black community, to operate like a stimulus package for the American economy. That is literally what this package looks like. Now, obviously, 2 trillion is nowhere near enough to what we would have got. But the point is, you ain't never heard the government talk about no trill. In 2008, they were talking about 800 bill. Now they talk about 1 trill, 2 trill, and all this other bullshit. They doing 250 million to direct payments. So that lets you know this bullshit about you can't do it, this can't happen, and all this other bullshit. That's bullshit. And I expect people, the government, to say that when you got people pushing that shit out there to shut a conversation down to the point where you don't know what the fuck you talking. People want to say, oh, you don't know what the fuck you talk about because this happened because you're on that conservative, rugged individualism shit, which I understand, but this is how you know that shit's bullshit. These Anthony Brian Logan and all these other people, they've been quiet as church mice. Because at the end of the day, this shit completely disproves their argument. This argument about what America can and cannot do. And the point is, this is like when people ask, are you for reparations or not for reparations? That should not even be a debatable argument. If you're black, by definition, it doesn't matter if you think you're going to get it or not get it or whatever. By definition, you should say that you're for it because obviously you know the history of this country and you know you're owed. Now, whether you go about thinking how likely it is, you know, now how likely you think that'll happen and all of that, okay, that's an internal conversation. And that's where you have that conversation. But when people, and I'm not on that public airwave shit, but when people just out here trying to say that black people are stupid for even talking about that, and I'm not on the boat to saying that you need to act like, oh, well, until I get this check, I can't do shit. No, I don't agree with that either. And most people don't. I don't agree with the, oh, but you're going to use racism as a mechanism to not interface with this economy. That's not what I agree with either. But at the same time, you know, to say that you to try to frame it like anybody talk about reparations is just waiting for the government to give them a check or help them out before they get started is not really a true representation or argument that people are having. And my thing is, a lot of these guys will be the same guys that talk about group power and what other men do. Well, what other men do is other men don't sit there and go against something that's going to benefit the entire group. Doesn't matter what people are going to do with their money. Doesn't matter all that bullshit. They say on principle, I am for this. Now, when we start getting into the opinions about what you do with it and what black people, then that's different. And you can still have those arguments, but as far as the general principle, that shit should be there. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you got a lot of folks that they want to play what I call Captain America, or that's really what Dynas calls it. And they want to sit here and they really own some. I don't believe if it's going to hurt the American economy, I don't believe black people should get reparations. And that's really what they believe. Now, they won't say that because they know if they say that shit, that's on some like cooning to the max shit. But you got a lot of folks that really believe that. They believe that they would rather protect the economics of America than actually have reorganize it to the point where black people are getting paid what they're owed because that's an unknown. And that's why I'm bringing this up, because this is an unknown. And you don't know what's going to happen. Like Donald Trump may talk that shit about restarting the economy, but you got to remember, just because he restarts the economy does not necessarily mean that companies are gonna like for instance, the nature of the shit that I do allows me to work from home. So that means different things to different companies, and people start to get sick, and then people start to be liable for that and get sued. You know, so what Trump said does not necessarily mean anything to that extent. We're still in unknown territory, and they can talk that shit about allowing people to die all they want to, but Trump can't control the media from covering that shit, especially since they're really trying to low key get them out of there anyway. So if motherfuckers start dropping, you better believe, just like how they covered the Iraq War, they're gonna cover that shit. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is this kind of argument about, you know, black female protection, the relationship between black men and black women, black love, you know, black male utility, what black men are not doing, what black, all this bullshit. What this has found is now you starting to see the limits of this quote unquote, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man. It's amazing how when shit hits the fan, motherfuckers like a rubber band completely jerks right back to where it's supposed to be. And now folks are trying to leverage their quote unquote utility or their network, aka niggas they fucked, the niggas they curved, or whatever. And now all of a sudden men mean things. And this goes to some stuff that Ulysses used to talk about, where as we're going into the fourth industrial revolution, the nature of how men and women interact with each other regardless of race, because all races have their own issues in the Western world. They have their own little back and forths. Although I think what we deal with in the black community is very unique because we're ahead of the curve. You start to see when you remove that and you see how fragile that shit can be. And when that shit is removed, then people are going to try to play this game like they want to say, oops, I didn't do that, or oops, my bad. And what you see is, you really see that all that posturing is just bullshit. And as a man, you recognize what your value is. For those of you all that are listening and those of you all will be listening after the fact, if you all are out here and you got your shit together, you as a black man having your shit together, it doesn't matter if you don't have to be a 1%er, you don't have to be in the top 10%. If you're making north, I would argue as a black man of $40,000 a year, especially if you're in the South. If you're in the South, 40,000, obviously that's going to be more if you're in the Northeast or in the West Coast. But if you're in the South at 40, and I would say, 50, and then, depending on, you can, if you're in the top, like 40%, let's say 40% in your group, or you're in the top 40% in America, or you're in the top 50% in America, then you have value. And you have value that they cannot replace. Now, they may value dick currency first, but when that security is really needed, that's when they know what it is. And you all need to assert your value, need to be apologetic about your value. And at the end of the day, I just want y'all to think about this. Like, a lot of times people get ADD and they get so much in the moment that they forget the things that were talked about before. And I'm not going to drop the link because I'm not trying to make this long. But real talk, a lot of arguments that were made, and people were like trying to make it like everybody's opinion to count. No, this shit proves all that shit. It proves all of it. And to be fair, a lot of niggas will be talking about, oh, well, this also goes for dudes that go overseas. Look at going overseas and how hard it is to get back in the United States and all of the bullshit. People can make their argument too. But the thing is, pay attention to events like that really shake shit the fuck up. Because now you get to compare that and cross-reference that against other shit. And you get to say, okay, so the government's doing this, so now they can. So now all this bullshit, and even like with Tone Talks and all them talk about you need to go with the best of both evils and all that. Now that's bullshit. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, shout out to O'Shea. O'Shea Duke Jackson did a video talking about Cardi B and her supporting, trying to be all we are the world and shit. Here's my thing. Any black person caping for, this goes for Spike Lee. This goes for anybody I've heard say it. This goes for Spike Lee. This goes for Chuck D. This goes for Cardi B. Fuck all of them. They can all go to hell. Like, real fucking talk. They fucking black card need to be revoked. I don't give a fuck if Spike Lee needs to be put on the fucking final. Because Spike Lee is already on thin ice for making that she's got to have it bullshit with Netflix. Basically, black female, black, anti-black male misandry propaganda. Like, real fucking talk. We're not even going to get on the Man Up CJ Walker bitch. Not her, but the chick that made it. Cardi B, she's not black. I'm fucking tired of black women, especially dark-skinned black women in particular, because those are the main ones to be caping for her ass. And I'm tired of other dark-skinned women that want to talk about colorism but don't want to shame black women that cape for women like Cardi B. Fucking sick of that and thinking I'm supposed to take them seriously. Let me see. She needs to be put in the Latin box, like, for real. I know that, but you can't tell black women that. Vern, Chuck D. I mean, damn, Chuck D. Like, dude, you see, this is all them niggas want to talk about gangster rap, fucked up hip hop, and then this is the shit I don't know if he got old, I don't know if he fucked a non-black bitch and it sprung. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Chuck D. But Chuck D, this is why this shit gets on my nerves, because you got to understand, when Cardi B, Spike Lee, and Chuck D are talking, they are talking to the black community. They're not talking to the general community because they have no cachet with the general community. So when they speak about racism, they are really trying to make the black community seem like it's particularly black people that is being racist against Chinese. And that's anti-black people. That's straight up anti-black black folks. That's cooling into the max. So when people make these little, and remember, these people are famous. So even when they make a pop on social media, that shit travels. That shit ain't like no random person saying that shit. That shit is like a press release. Ain't nobody paying attention to them except in the black community, but people can take what they say and then try to remix it and reframe it to where, oh, look, black people are putting racism on Chinese, so this justifies everything they do. And then also, most of these people, particularly Cardi B, are ignorant as fuck to know what these Chinese do, as O'Shea did with that video. So y'all should check it out. And when you look at these, when you look at, you got to remember, nothing is done on media for by accident. And when you look at these people, when they go out of their way to say shit or go that way to cape as if Chinese people is like a big part of their market or their fan base and their investment infrastructure, that's not true for Chuck D. That's not true for Cardi B. That's not true for Spike Lee. Because if Spike Lee was smart, Spike Lee would have been fucking with the Chinese way before to get some more movies made, to create a partnership within the black community, if for nothing else, to get money so they can get investment back and he can get his movies made. But you ain't seen Spike Lee do that. I've been saying that for a while now, that Spike Lee should have been working with the Chinese in order, because it's a Chinese billionaire that owns Carmike. But you ain't heard him. But as soon as some shit started to go down, this nigga the first one to fucking be a mascot for another group. Nigga, I'm short, you short. Nigga, you look stupid. And in the short black folks club is a small club. And I'm saying, as a short black man to another nigga, sit your ass down and shut the fuck up. And I know you older, but goddamn, you should know better than that. There's no reason for you to be fucking caping. Now, and especially when you ain't even asking the Chinese to break bread at all. When you actually got some shit. Spike Lee, if he had the proper funding, could actually make money for other groups with black people. But you ain't never heard him say that shit. Netflix had to go out of the way to go get him because he ain't really advocating like that. So there's not even an investment hustle reason to be doing that. He's just doing it because he feels a certain type of way. Nigga, sit your ass down and shut the fuck up. Just like when Dolan on the Knicks. This dude has been Spike Lee has been free advertising for the Knicks for decades, and Dolan treats him like another $5 slave, just like he did Charles Oakley. And what did both of them motherfuckers say? Both of them motherfuckers said that they gonna still be Knicks fans and they still gonna contribute because they have no self-respect. It's fucking stupid and it's lame to the fullest. Cardi B, like I said, she ain't black. As far as Chuck D, I don't know what the fuck is his problem. He sits there and throws away a Flavor Flav relationship. He throws away, and people forgot about him doing that with Griff. Black people need to start punishing black people for doing that shit. Now, Chuck D has been catching heat because he deleted them posts, but it should be about more than delete the posts. Chuck D shouldn't even be able to, because let's be clear here, who the fuck watching Public Enemy? Black people. White folks ain't supporting Public Enemy like that. So if black people ain't gonna support him, they not gonna get supported. As far as Cardi B, she's kind of reached the level at the point where she don't even need black people like that, except for credibility, and black women are more than willing to give it out. So when events like this happen, you all like, it's always good to look at some of the past things, as conversations, and then say, does that apply to this? They did cash in on the civil rights movement. And the problem and the thing is, and this is how you know these people don't work for you and they're not a part of you. So when you give out your attention because you want to live vicariously through people, because that's the problem with us. We like to live vicariously through other people, so we care about them having a slot. And that's a hustle. That's a pimp game. It's scripted to a point, but they know what they can get away with and not get away with. But my point is, even though I don't mention everything, I'm always peeping shit. That's why it always seems like I'm being negative to certain people, because I know their receipts. I know what they've done. I know what they're about. Yeah, man, Donald Trump ain't saying nothing in that damn press briefing. I don't watch that shit one time while I'm doing some shit, and I'm like, that shit don't shit. I'll watch the first 48 live PD before I watch that shit. Now, if Andrew Cuomo is on, I'll watch him because he's saying some shit, but the rest of the motherfuckers ain't saying shit. But yeah, man, like, seriously, you don't owe nobody shit, because everybody is acting like they operating for them and them only. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. Like I said, I told y'all this wasn't going to be too long. I just wanted to get that kind of off my chest. I definitely want to do a stream about, or get a stream done about how the church like sucks money out of black females and black children. Because a lot of these people like Creflo Dollar, all these other people talk about you still need to tithe. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of good stream need to be done. People like folks are getting shadow banned and the numbers look a little lower than they normally do. It is what it is. Yeah, I try to tell it how it is, and there's gonna be some shit that's gonna come out of this. This is an opportunity for shit to get a lot stronger. Um, and I mean, it is what it is. But dude, yeah, these motherfuckers are full of shit. I know I was on Fantastic Stream. Check out the community tab for that. They was breaking some shit down, and at the end of the day, man, I stand by a lot of. I stand by everything I say. Yeah, exactly. Nameless, and now all of a sudden, see, this is where Chinese people try to act like they're honorary whites. Where yeah, hell, Tarina, she had to get on Karuchi about that. Now you starting to see that a lot of these black people they care about leaning towards other groups than towards their own, and that just is what it is, and that's to be expected. I expected Cardi B to do that. I expected Karuchi to do that. They'll try to play the I'm both game, but at the end of the day, they know one part gets it more than others, and they're allowed to live in this fucking bubble. So y'all folks need to peep game. Like even when it comes to this like fucking social gossip shit, folks need to fucking peep game. Like that's why people like Jada Black is very important because he'll break that shit down. Cause I ain't got time to be all up in that shit like that. Um and yeah, like but for real, all the shit again, they're gonna try to put out a certain narrative, just like how you see they're trying to make it like black areas are like the fastest areas of the coronavirus. They're gonna always try to put out a certain narrative, and that shit like hurts them because at the end of the day, that gives them a false sense of reality. And a lot of folks are you starting to see a lot of folks getting caught with their pants down. They're getting caught um not being prepared, thinking they can always hoe, and now all these women thought they were above it. Like all this shit starting to get revealed, and this shit to serve to you all as a reminder. This should be a reminder period. It doesn't matter what they think, but you all need to be understanding that this shit hits the fan, which this corona shit has shown you this shit can hit the fucking fan. And do not believe that everything's gonna go just back to normal once this shit is over. Like this shit is doing some shit in lightning speed that what it took a couple of years for the for 2008 to do. Like housing prices have gone down, fucking car prices. There's a lot of opportunity really to get a lot of shit done. If you're still employed and your money's still moving, this is the opportunity to get some shit, to reorganize some shit, to make some shit look really, really good. So I'll be talking about that down the road. So anyway, I just wanted to throw this out there. So with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.